Good morning, Multipliers. Judah. It is day 2 of the Multiply Show, the Multiply Morning Show, and so we're into some deep stuff now. All right, some scary stuff. Now, we're gonna be talking about crazy animal stories. Now, Judah, you have one irrational fear, slightly rational, but mainly irrational fear of animals. Do you know what that is?
Wait, you mean which animal?
Like a certain area, I guess, more than anything where you're scared.
Spiders?
That actually was not what I was thinking.
Oh.
Spiders is definitely one. But Judah has a fear of everything under the water. Like, I remember we first started dating. Judah and I went on a kayaking, like on a lake, and it's a lake in the middle of Kirksville, Missouri, where there's not a whole lot going on. And Judah wouldn't even get out of the kayak with me because she was afraid there'd be giant catfish or something that would come up and eat her.
Not eat me, but I don't want to touch them either.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but then the ocean too. Juda's terrified of the ocean. Other than she'll get in the water,
ocean.
but you know, not very deep. And because I don't go deep either, but that's for different reasons. Because of riptides, and those will get you. They don't discriminate. Nope, they'll go right for you. Today we're talking about crazy stories, though, Judah, where animals were found in homes. All right, in mostly beds and stuff like that. And in particular, I'm going to tell about one of my crazy stories too, which is actually kind of 2 stories into one. But Judah, let me ask you this question. All right, what would you do if one morning you woke up and you found that in your bed, cuddling on your chest?
What is that even?
That is. Let me get my thing to blow up here. It's a 99-year-old woman. Oh, jeez, it's going the wrong way. Sorry, my computer is freaking out. A 99-year-old woman in Miami, she awoke to find this animal on her chest. According to the veterinary call that they called in for all this. I was awakened from a phone call at 2 a.m. by her. Okay, we'll skip all this stuff down. So basically, she finds this. It's a rare kind of animal that basically the only reason she didn't die was because it was domesticated. Like they were talking about how if she hadn't done it, if it'd been wild, it's like, oh, she would have lost an arm or something at least. Like these things are crazy, but for some reason this thing's domesticated.
I've never seen.
It is the weirdest looking animal. I'm trying to figure out I have it written down what the name is. Let me see if I can find it here. Do you see it anywhere? It's been a few days since I looked at these.
We'll put it on the screen.
Obviously they'll have it. They can see it as we're talking right now. King, you just say that word. You go for it. You try that. King of Joust. It sounds like a jousting for knights. It sounds
kind of like a half cat, half I don't know,
monkey thing.
Monkey.
But yeah, so she woke up to that. Another one in New Zealand. And apparently it's kind of common, but she walked in to find a seal just lounging on her couch. And seals, once again, not the nicest. They're cute, but they are not the nicest.
How do these get into their house?
I don't know. But she found this there. Foxes. An elder woman in England woke up in the morning to find a fox sitting on her chest, staring at her face like it was a geometry problem.
Like, since they're old, maybe they didn't actually see a fox. Maybe it's like her cat.
No, they have pictures of it.
Oh.
There's a picture of it right there.
I guess that could be that.
There's a seal sleeping. I mean, like, no, this
is just by word of mouth.
Another one was penguins in a South African town of Stony Point. Has been taken over by a breeding colony of very mean penguins. So basically, yeah, they keep waking up to penguins in their everywhere. Like everywhere, there's penguins, and they're apparently not nice penguins. They're mean penguins. Penguins are cute. Apparently, they can be mean. That one's not still in the house. Here's a really good one though. All right, you guys ready for this? All right, this one's absolutely crazy, and I would have to go change my pants afterwards because it'd be scary. It says, a cable TV repairman was working in a New Jersey basement when he heard a growl and turned around to see a 500-pound black bear in this basement. He said the bear had built a bed of leaves and branches and had probably been living down in this basement for weeks.
Holy cow.
Apparently the homeowner, this is the best part, this is absolutely the best part, the homeowner heard the mysterious growling and rustling and just thought the basement was haunted.
Oh my goodness. Well, I understand not wanting to go down there if you heard all that.
You gotta just check it out, man. The animal control officers chased the bear through the neighborhood for an hour before finally tranquilizing it and taking it back out to the woods.
Oh my goodness.
How
do these things get in? Like, do they just have enormous holes?
They must have had a door. Maybe they broke a window. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, that's weird.
But yeah, no, they
We're not ever finding it in our house.
I mean, 500 pounds. I'm a big guy, and like that's like almost 2 of me. Oh man. I think that's the list of like crazy animal stories I found. I just wanted to pick up a few. But I mean, if you don't know a black bear's in your basement, I mean, at least go check. You're like, that doesn't sound like was that a bear? And you're like, nope, that was a ghost. I ain't going down there no ghost. It's like, you gotta find something out. Now, I personally have a very crazy story. I've had a few run-ins before, Judah. I believe we talked about this before I was married. I'm sure my sister made sure to tell you.
Yes, she did.
I love you, Shell. But when I was younger, or not younger, I was in high school. I actually might have been out of high school by this point. I had to wake up and go to a camp, a kids camp. I was the summer missionary, so yeah, I was out of high school. It's like just after my freshman year of college, and so I was out. I had to go to summer camp for kids camp the next day, and I had to get up like 8 o'clock, head out the door. And I was out late with one of my buddies. We were at we used to go to Pancake City all the time. We just sit there and eat pancakes. Yep. And then I got patty melts, which are really good there too. But yeah, we were sitting there, and so my sister calls me and says, "Daniel, there's a bat in the house, and Dad's asleep and doesn't want to come mess with it. So when you get home, you got to get this bat."
She just went to bed.
She just went to bed. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something about myself. That is not a strength God blessed me with, is dealing with bats. Okay, we're going to find out why. So I get home, I mean, it was probably midnight or something like that when I got home, and I walk in, and I start looking for this bat. Where is this dumb bat? And I come around the corner, and there it is hanging in the middle of our ceiling in our living room. And I'm like, all right, what am I going to do to get this thing? What am I going to do to get this bat? So I call my sister, and she's like, well, Dad always either throws a blanket over it or he grabs it with tongs. Both bad ideas. Both very bad ideas. And so I decided to go with the tongs one because in my mind I think if I hit it with a blanket, I'm just going to fling it to the ground. It's going to come at me mad. So I go, I try to grab it with tongs. So I go up to grab it and I get a hold of it. And as I do, he slips a wing. And once that happens, it's done. It's gone. So he starts chasing me around. I tell you what, I screamed like a 3-year-old little girl. Alright, I was screeching, running over, and I duck into the bathroom, and I shut the door. And I call my sister, and I hear her laughing in the next room, because she's right next door to where I was at. And I call her, I'm like, it just chased me into the bathroom. What do I do? And she's like, you gotta go get it, just do something. So I go out, literally, not kidding, so like, the layout of our thing was we had a hallway that runs up with bedrooms off of it. Then there's like our landing and our entryway, and then it goes into our kitchen. So I take out the bathroom, which is like right here, and I come down the hallway, and I walk over. I'm looking for this bat. I'm looking everywhere. And as I come around the corner, I turn to look into our kitchen, and like the wall runs right here to the door. Like there's a wall here and a wall here. It makes a square. I look over, and above the sink, he is literally both wings perched out like this, and just turns his head and lights out after me. No joke. Flying around my head, chasing me, literally, didn't touch me, thank goodness. I screamed like a little tiny girl, ran downstairs, shut my door, and did not want to come out the rest of the night. And then my sister, my dad wakes up to this yelling, right? And so my dad wakes up and goes, and my mom bursts into my sister's room thinking she's like screaming about something. And Michelle was laughing so hard, she thought she was crying, but she's like, that wasn't me, that was Dan. And then, but guys, it gets worse. So the bat's still in my house. I decide I'm gonna go to bed. I go to bed. I'm sleeping downstairs. I sleep in the basement. My room's down there. Apparently, Judah, at some point during the night, the bat wanted revenge. So.
Well, you just went to bed?
Yeah, I just went to bed. I'm just like, I'm not doing anything tonight. My dad will get in the morning. He's better at these things than me. But turns out that was the case. My dad wakes up about 6 a.m., goes around looking, can't see the bat, figured I got it. I did not get it. Michelle wakes up. She books out the door, just not even gonna look and see if I got it. My mom does the same thing. It's about 8 a.m., time for me to wake up and go to camp. As I do, I wake up and my room, he came under the door, slipped around the corner, came all the way around to where my head was on the complete opposite side of the room. I wake up to that bat on the side of my bed. I'm sleeping, like I slept diagonal before Judah because I have the same bed now that we're married, but so it's a big king size bed. And I slept diagonal on it because I had lots of room, you know, before somebody took that half of it. And so, you do. So I wake up though, and like I open my eyes to the eyes of a bat and its teeth open right here. No joke. My head was almost off the thing and his teeth were right there. Literally what I did was I jumped up and went, "There's the bat!" Screeched up and ran out of the room. I came back and thankfully he had found his way into a box and I put him in the box and set him outside. And that was how that bat came to an end. That was the most...
That is insane that he knew you were in that room.
He came under the door.
Went under the little crack.
Terrifying moment of my life. Extremely terrifying. And there was like, no joke guys, every time there's a bat, it comes after me now. It's like they have a sixth sense that we had a run in at one point. And they're like, all together like, that guy, guys, he's not good. Go for him. So, have you, that's like my craziest bat story. If you guys have a crazy animal story of yourselves, let us know in the comments down below. But yeah, needless to say, I don't like bats much anymore. Alright, Judy, time for the Daily Focus. This is our segment where we guys read this focus for the day. We're all getting ready to go out and start work and school and everything else, guys. So this is where we just hone in a little bit and talk about God and what He's doing in our lives, alright? So where were you today, Judah, in your Babylon, your quiet time?
I am still in Matthew, and I was in Matthew chapter 23 today. I just got through one chapter because I pretty much would read through a few verses and just read all the notes at the bottom and keep going through. Something that stood out to me today, well, it's basically in Matthew where they're talking about the scribes and the Pharisees, and it kind of told me more about what the Pharisees and scribes were. I knew that they were bad people and we didn't want to be like them necessarily, and that they were like teachers, you know, hypocrites and stuff, but I like the note it said down here. It said, the scribes and Pharisees were two distinct groups. Though there was some overlap between them, the scribes were the professional interpretive experts on the Torah itself, while the Pharisees were experts in theological matters that the Torah raised. And then in the chapter it talked about how it said in verse 2, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat and do not observe what they tell you, but not, and so do and observe what they tell you, but not the works they do, for they preach but do not practice. And then it goes on to say, they do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long, and they love the place of honor at feasts and the best seat in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces and be called rabbi by others. So I just thought that was talking about, you know, how we don't want to be like them because they are all for the works. They just do it for the, you know, for others to see them and not for the glory of God. And how often do we do those things, you know, just for others to see us, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And there's some other good stuff too, but
I think there's a battle that's been going on for a while too. Is just this battle between, you know, so many people think about Christians because they see these people who talk like these people, like they talk and they're hypocritical and they say, oh, do this, and then before you know it, they're doing the exact same thing they're saying not to. I think that's a big point of suffering for us, not suffrage, but suffering for Christians and people, because here we are and we're struggling with this idea that it's hard to be a Christian, and I'm an imperfect person, you're an imperfect person, but we serve a perfect God. And though that we may not be perfect, God is. And so I think it's like we have to get to that focus of understanding like that Jesus doesn't call us to just live a life of just talk. You know, it's talk. It's a life of movement. And that's really what I was reading about too, actually, kind of about movement anyways. I'm still splitting my time. I'm still reading through the book of Job. I'm almost done with it. I've got a couple more chapters to go. So I read a couple chapters in Job, and then I read in Acts chapter 1 and 2 today. Acts is just an amazing book that goes over so much, and there's just like this rallying call for Christians about what the church should look like. This was the first church, you know, and I was reading about the day of Pentecost and when 3,000 souls were added. But there's a very particular verse that I think is important that obviously I'm sure you've probably heard before. It's just Acts 1:8 that stands out to me always. It says, but you will receive the power of the Holy Spirit you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witness in Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. And there's something particular about that too, just like what you were talking about. Like, we're supposed to love everybody and have this love, but Jesus says, here he says to Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria. Now that means home and like abroad, and then like where you don't want to go, the places you don't like. Samaria was a place with the Jews did not want to go, that they avoided. They took giant walks around. And so I think there's that something special. Say like, I need to go not where it's comfortable for me, where I want to go, but I need to go, and that's like living what we're preaching, just like there, you know.
Right.
I think there's something so pivotally important there that we say, I'll go wherever you lead, Father, not necessarily just where I desire to go, and where it may be scary and not comfortable. And I think that's definitely a real fear. It's something that I've dealt with a lot. I'm sure you have too. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important. So that's definitely one of the big areas of focus for me today. I mean, you know, I love at the end of Acts chapter 2 where it talks about the church too. Acts chapter 2, 42 through 47, where it talks about that they gathered together, taking in the apostles' teachings and day by day breaking bread and distributing their, just nothing was around. And we'll probably talk about that verse in deeper and future multiply morning shows. But you know, this is just one of those things I think is just so pivotal to the church and the beauty of it, and really what like this show and what we do here is all about. And I think it's just that focus of, guys, today as you go out and you're going to school, you're going to work, you're doing whatever else you're doing, that you allow God to use you, and you don't become like the hypocrites we see here, but you become the people of movement like it talks about in Acts, you know. And I think that's the difference. And I think if we can take ourselves and just and determine and open ourselves up and say, God, take me where you want me to go, He'll do amazing things. Mm-hmm. So that's our challenge today, guys. Let us know in the comments down below what your daily quiet times were like. What did God talk to you about today? What are you doing? Anything else, Judah?
Any crazy animal stories?
Oh yeah, crazy. Let me know about your crazy animal stories. I am dying to hear them. So I would appreciate that, guys. Anything else, Judah, before we wrap up?
I think no.
Alright, guys, well, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share this video to your friends. Let them see this fun stuff. Let this grow so we can talk to as many people as we can about the good news of the Lord. Amen. Alright, guys, well, thank you so much. I'm Dan.
Guys, and I'm Judah.
And God bless. We'll see you next time.